Brian Rose's time in NASCAR was extremely brief, as he mostly competed in the NASCAR Truck Series from 2001 to 2002. But prior to his NASCAR stint, he had showcased enough talent on the short tracks of Tennessee, eventually landing an opportunity with one of the top teams in the series at the time. In about a few seconds, you're going to be asking yourself how that came to be, because during his first season in the Truck Series, he made only 15 starts for Rick Ware. If there was a sign it wasn't going to work out, it came during his debut at Memphis, where in this clip, he DNFs.
And tough break for the 51. Heavy contact. We'll show you what happened just a moment ago to Brian Rose.
Looked like he slid up into the wall on the outside. It looks like turn 1 and 2 there, and made some pretty hard contact. They may be able to make repairs and get him back out, but he did hit pretty hard.
And we have one truck hard into the wall, the 51. Heavy impact down in turns 1 and 2, and that will bring out the caution for Brian Rose. Take a look at it from the Ridge's onboard camera.
Well, there was some contact there. You saw Carlos Contreras right in front of Scott in the Hot Wheels Dodge.
And we are under caution for the 5th time tonight. Brian Rose, the impressive short track ace from up in Tennessee, on the Sunclear machine, spun around down in turns 1 and 2, the Sunclear Energy sponsorship, and the Rick Ware owned truck. But none the worse for Ware. Looped it around, and he heads for pit road at 35 miles per hour. Working caution number 6 on the day. It came out on lap 139 due to a spin by the 51 truck. The young short track ace spinning around. That's Brian Rose from Bowling Green, Kentucky.
That's Brian on the inside, and that was our leader, Greg Biffle, on the outside. So Brian actually tried to turn his truck away from Greg Biffle to keep him sliding up into him and spun out. But a good heads-up move by Brian to keep him taking the leader out.
And we got a truck in the wall. That again is the 51 truck of Brian Rose, and the caution will come out, which means we will have green, white, and checkered once again.
0 top 10s and an average finish of 21.4 isn't showing a lot of promise, but hey, he's driving for Rick Ware and showed enough promise on the short tracks of Kentucky and Tennessee to be considered a short track ace by the commentators. Definitely deserves one more year in the series, but a promotion to a better team? The late Bobby Hamilton Sr. was giving the short track ace his biggest opportunity. Bobby Hamilton Racing was one of the premier teams in the series at the time, and of course with Rose bringing over that Sunclear Energy funding, a seat had opened up. While the move was questionable, at first it looked like a genius move, because in his first start with the team, Brian Rose finished 3rd at Daytona, and then the following week at Darlington ended up finishing 8th. It's only 2 races in, but he was sitting 3rd in points, and compared to his teammates Robert Presley and Bill Lester, he looked like he was going to be able to hold his own early on. Did Bobby Hamilton Sr. perhaps find a diamond in the rough? Well, not exactly. Even though he scored 4 top 10s in the first 5 races and was sitting 7th in points, the season was about to go off the rails.
We got problems here in Martinsville as Brian Rose is going backwards out of turn 2.
He is definitely going the wrong way, Doc. Brendan Gaughan on the inside. He gets sideways. Nothing Brian Rose could do. He was on the outside, gave Brendan Gaughan plenty of room. Brendan got sideways on the inside and made contact with Brian Rose, and around Brian went, and Brendan also.
There is Brian Rose in the 4 truck again, the Sunclear Energies Dodge, and that will bring out caution number 13, putting us 2 away from tying the record. Not a record we want to tie, by the way.
Brian's going the wrong way again on the racetrack. Is that parallel parking there, Doc? I'm
not sure if he was making a statement on his dislike for someone or just trying to find room to turn around. All right, from the Federated Auto Parts onboard camera, there's Matt Crafton on the inside. Up, yeah, yep. And Matt right in the S of Sunclear is where he got him, and now we know why the 4 pulled up across the racetrack and nosed up toward Matt Crafton. Trouble up the back straightaway. 2 trucks into the inside wall and head on into each other. That is Brian Rose and the Perry Connection Dodge. Heavy damage on his truck. Let's see if we can see what happened here just a moment ago coming off turn 2.
Looked like Lance was on the outside, got sideways. The 90 truck got sideways out on the outside of Brian Rose, and Brian had nowhere to go. He was not involved in the wreck till Lance slid down from him. Again, as we talked about, you're going to go down the racetrack, and they made heavy contact coming off turn number 2.
There's the Perry Connection.com dodge for Brian Rose.
The wall pretty good.
And here's what happened a moment ago on lap number 4.
Already sideways, all 3 trucks. You got Mike Bliss left of your screen, just went out of your screen. You see Terry Cook with nowhere to go, got caught up between Brian Rose and the wall.
Have a caution coming out, and the caution flag is waving as there are a couple of trucks spinning up across the racetrack. The Ford truck of Brian Rose is into the outside wall, and that is not what the 2 truck of Leffler wanted to see, because we do not finish under the caution. Well, the caution, the Ford truck up across the racetrack slams the wall hard contact by the 4 of Brian Rose out of Bowling Green, Kentucky, and there is the caution flag we talked about, we have seen all year long. Misfortune in the final 10 laps.
Let's take a look at Brian Rose. Looks like maybe something happened to the engine, because, yeah, there's oil all over the racetrack. Hard lick into the wall. He blew an engine right at the wrong time, going in the corner at maximum speed.
Bobby Hamilton Racing released Brian Rhodes after 13 races, where he only scored 1 top 5 and 5 top 10s. At the time of his release, he had fallen back to 15th in points. He finished out the season driving for Billy Ballou and Rick Ware, but after 2002, he only made 2 starts in 2003 before being suspended by NASCAR for failing to take a drug test. This followed an arrest that included charges for possession of marijuana and a handgun. He wouldn't come back until 2010, where he only made 3 starts, with his biggest highlight being that hit to the wall. From 2011 to 2014, he only made a combined 3 ARCA starts before this story took another dramatic turn. Because on June 27, 2014, Rose was indicted on charges of running a Ponzi scheme involving an allegedly fraudulent coal mining operation starting in 2011. In a 3-year period, he swindled 160 investors out of $15 million, using that money to spend on horses, houses, and cars. What's crazier is, a decade prior, his father David had swindled 60 investors out of $3.5 million from 2000 to 2001, eventually agreeing to serve 52 months in prison. In 2016, Brian Rose was sentenced to 9 years in prison. Just when you thought the twists and turns had finished, we have one more. Remember how he used some of that stolen money on horses? Well, here he is at the 2022 Kentucky Derby, celebrating with the winning owner. He's in the light yellow suit, but you're probably asking, where is his orange jumpsuit? I guess he got out with good behavior. The only reason I was able to find that video was because apparently this is his Twitter. Judging from the picture and bio, the information found for this video suggests that it's actually him. Dude stole $15 million and has the audacity to put business consultant in his bio. I guess instead of NASCAR driver, he should switch it up to NASCAR Bust. And once again, that'll do it for another video. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Black Flags Matter. Catch you next time.